questions. Light Source is asking, what are your thoughts on Hebrews 9:15 through 19 and its correlation to Yeshua's death? But for Christ, the mediator of new covenant, so that those who are called may receive the promised eternal inheritance, now that he has died to redeem them from the transgressions committed under the first covenant. In the case of a will, it's necessary to establish the death of one who made it, because a will does not take effect until the one who made it has died. It cannot be executed while he is still alive. This is why even the first covenant was not put into effect without blood. For when Moses proclaimed every commandment of the law to all the people, he took the blood of the calves, the goats, along with the water, scarlet wool, and hyssop, and sprinkled the scroll on the people. So you're asking what's my understanding of this and the correlation to Yeshua's death. Well, Christ died to become our high priest. So his death was prophesied. He'd be sent to a wicked and adulterous generation. They're going to mistreat him. They're going to, disrespect him and try to martyr him like they did all the other prophets. And once he's resurrected, he receives his priesthood, Hebrews 5:7 through 10. After he's resurrected, he receives his priesthood, to which he then can be a source of salvation to all who obey him, Hebrews 5:7 through 10. And then now he's ascended to heaven into the tabernacle, like we read in Hebrews 9 as well already. But the testator, the concept of the will that does not establish to the one who made it, because the will does not take effect until the one who made it died, it cannot be executed while he's still alive. Everyone, because people believe in PSA doctrine, they teach that God died for you so that he can give you the benefits of the covenant. But God never promised that was the way of the covenant for him. It's when you die, you get the benefits of the covenant, which is eternal life, or the second death, eternal death. God never promised that he was going to die to give you the benefits of the covenant he's offering you. So this is one of the biggest misunderstandings in modern Christianity, because their precept is penal substitutionary atonement, which assumes that God had to die, and they'll use the second person in the Godhead of the Trinity, that the Son, God the Son, had to die, is the way they'll put it, in order for you to have the blessings of the covenant. That is a vast misunderstanding of the Old Testament covenant. You are the one that has to die for the will, the promises of the will to be given. This is the idea of explaining how there must be a death before this thing can be executed. You stepped into an arrangement where there's things promised to you. And then when you die, which is the promise of the covenant, if you do the statutes, ordinances, commandments of God in faith and belief, you will live. So this is why Jesus in Matthew 11 tells, in John 11, he tells Martha, after they're talking about Lazarus, he tells Martha, I'm the resurrection and life. Whoever believes in me will live, even though he dies. That's the promise of the Old Testament covenant. And everyone who lives and believes in me will never die. Do you believe this? So step one, a person dies and they're going to live again. The resurrection is assumed. He just expressed to you the context. He's talking about the resurrection and eternal life. So then therefore, when you die, even though he dies, you're going to live again. That's the resurrection and eternal life. And now that you have resurrection and eternal life, now that you are the one who lives and believes in me, will never die. That's the eternal life. So this is where, and she says, I believe you're the Christ, the Son of God, who was coming into the world. She affirms what he says, that she understands his teaching, and she believes it, because this is the thing promised for the Messiah, the Son of God, who was to come into the world. Not to be born of a man, but who was to come into the world. I mean, not just to be born of a man, but who was to come into the world, because he pre-existed with the Father before he came into the world. This was she's affirming what Jesus is laying down. She's picking up what he's laying down, and she understands the process. You have to die first before you get the eternal life part. So in Hebrews chapter 9, you do not get the benefits of the covenant. And he's using a testator or a will as an example to show you that there must be a death first before the benefits are bequeathed. He's using the example. This is not a one-to-one correlation. What PSA proponents do is they make it a one-to-one. They make it a one-to-one because they say, well, Christ must have been the God who gave the commandments on Sinai, so therefore he has to die on the cross to bring about the fulfillment of the covenant. And again, it's all assuming that you can't do anything, that you can never obey God. PSA doctrine is, mixed in with, total depravity and the idea that your righteousness is a filthy rag and you could never obey God. And and you have no chance of ever even trying to obey God. So therefore, Christ has to come and show you how to obey, and then die to give you the benefits of the covenant, because God was the one who, because Christ the Son was the one who made the covenant with you, and he was not. The Father made the covenant with the people of Israel, with all of mankind. Study Ecclesiastes 12, verse 13 and 14. The Father is the one who expects something from mankind. The Father never promises to die. So it's just an example. This is just someone that is, again, that assumes that you know the law. Christ is going to become the high priest. He assumes you know the law, because in the law, the Messiah, who's also promised to be the high priest, is the only one that has the authority to give you the benefits of the covenant after you die, which is resurrection to eternal life. It's exactly what Jesus explained and taught.